Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The long war begins.
In space, no one can hear you scream unless it is the battle cry of the Astra Militarum. Let me hear your war cry.
This is The Long War. I'm Robbie B, and joining me tonight are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher and Wyatt Turk, a jacket close painting. What's up, guys?
Yo, dog, great to be here.
What's up, everybody?
So it's an exciting day. We have work news. The most baddest grot in the history of ever is coming to 40k.
It does make me happy to potentially be gifted a Orktober in March. I've been toying with some ideas. The Watain Clan March to War.
Yeah,
possibly.
That's a good one. Now, I also heard that Kenny is designing a brand new custom Custody shirt just for me. It's the Raw Bear limited edition, but you can also order it too. Custody shirt.
Oh God, you're gonna make KR Quinn so buttered.
It was
why?
Because he's been asking one
T-shirt a while back. I'm still waiting on that one, so we'll see.
I got him with the all caps. He's like, "Fine, I'll do it." I was like, "Yes."
We do have a new towel shirt up in the swag shop. Light them up. It's kind of dope.
Oh, that's a good one.
It is a really cool shirt.
I'm working on finally working on the Chaos Knight one. That's one of my corrupted files from like last month.
No,
where, like the Wacom tablet, which has the finicky little power strip on it. I'm like just chilling, drawing, and it just cuts off on me. And then I go to turn it back on, and all the file I was working on was corrupted. So I'm finally back to it. I'm drawing. I've been actually in a creative renaissance since I came back for Valentine's Day and just chilling in the mountains. Like I've been just drawing and painting like a madman, dude. Sometimes you just need to go into the mountains and smoke a bunch of weed and don't have a computer on you for like 3 days.
I'll do it.
It happens to me all the time.
Depending on where you live, obviously in the country, depends on how easy all that is to attain. Do you have access to mountains? Do you have access to free weed? Or no criminal charge weed?
We don't have any of that here. We have scotch.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, you can buy scotch anywhere, Rob.
Whoa! Let's not get all crazy.
Like, go to a grocery store.
They sell it at the Alphabet Store. It's a very special place.
The ABC. Oh God, yes. So I forgot about those when I lived out there. So it's actually an exciting week. Rob said earlier it was a slow news week last week.
Air quotes. I hate saying that, but basically.
But this week, the ITC has been giving us betas on the new ITC missions out of Frontline Games. They threw out a beta, then they did an update. We have access to that new file. I've already talked about it a few times today. This is really big news. That's going to be the meat and potatoes of this episode when we get past some of the new stuff, is to break down kind of the changes and talk about how important they are. Try to condense it, give you guys, as concise of a delivery as possible. But like, it's the way we play the game competitively right now. So these changes are super important, like to be prepared for, especially if you're like, you already got the missions inside out, know how to play them perfectly. This is a change. While some of it is very subtly changed, much of it has huge changes for like the strategies, who goes first, who goes second, how we work the secondaries. There's new fucking secondaries, new procedures on how you pick your secondaries and your pre-game stuff. It's actually a lot of stuff that is really going to mix it up. They're still saying that they might change it even more. And with thousands of games being played every week, maybe every month, they might change it again. So it's 2020 tournament season is upon us, and it's very exciting.
Yep. Super excited for the new Champs packet. The changes we've seen so far are really cool. Looking forward to how it's going to change things. Sometimes if you need to adjust the meta and you can't make GW do it, just change the format and that will change the meta for you.
Yep. That's a fact. And obviously we're going to talk about Rob is going to burn his 90 seconds he's been holding for Titanicus today at some point. I feel it. I know it's going to happen.
Can't stop me, Copper.
But before we do all that, you got some jokes for us? You got a funny?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do. So we're bringing back two of our most popular, well, popular is one word for it. It could be most notorious would you rathers for a would you rather remix. So, would you rather commit to the pea jar lifestyle, except the pea jar is now a bucket, or eat an entire jar of mayonnaise for breakfast every morning, but it is a Costco size and it is warm?
Okay, so for anybody who's just started listening to the show and is like, what the fuck is a remix pea jar lifestyle? Break down what the pea jar lifestyle is.
So the pea jar lifestyle is that you have a mason jar full of your own urine and you must carry it everywhere. And you can't just you can't put it in a bag or a pocket, or you have to actively embrace this as a lifestyle. So you got to pee in the pea jar. You got to carry it around with you. And if you're at dinner with a classy lady, you have to have the pea jar up on the table. And even if they ignore it, you have to bring attention to it. Oh, this is my pea jar. This is part of my lifestyle. It's it promotes health and wellness by carrying around my own urine in a mason jar. You have to commit to it'd be like being a vegan, nobody cares, but you always have to bring it up in conversation. That's the pea jar lifestyle.
It's like the CrossFit of
or being gluten free,
being gluten free. Yeah.
Oof.
So you've upped the ante on the pea jar lifestyle to pea bucket lifestyle.
Yeah.
Does it have a lid?
No, it's a bucket.
It's a standard bucket, and the mayonnaise conundrum was you had to wake up every morning and eat the whole jar, right?
Yeah, for breakfast, and you can't skip breakfast. So for breakfast, you have to eat an entire jar of mayonnaise.
But we did and this was controversial. I did ask the Dijin. There's an evil Dijin who is the creator of
Wishmaster.
The Wishmaster in this there, which is Wyatt. If Miracle Whip counted as mayonnaise, and he gave me the highly controversial ruling that it does indeed count as mayonnaise because it's found in the same section of the grocery store.
It's fucking mayonnaise. Anybody who's Miracle Whip isn't mayonnaise, I don't care. It's fucking mayonnaise.
I mean, it's not in the same aisle.
So as long as Miracle Whip is still on the table, I'm going to keep my Miracle Whip. I'm going to eat that Costco size Miracle Whip every day because I'm not going to be hauling around my fucking pee bucket because that is ludicrous. It's far more reasonable to just die at 48 from a heart attack.
It's a bit optimistic.
I'm going to have to scale up everything else in my life. You know what I mean? So 48 is my new adjusted figure. My current figure would be 3 weeks from now I would die, right? I'm going to have to take fitness real serious,
Mm-hmm.
I think...
you're going to have to do some real work to get ahead of that cholesterol.
Unless your metabolism resets with every day.
Cannot mix the mayo. You cannot put it on. It's out the jar. Out of the jar. The spoon can be as big as you want. I'll allow any spoon or eating implement as long as the eating implement is not in and of itself food.
Now, as far as breakfast is concerned, is it do you mean my first meal of the day? So if I wake up at noon, I'm still, that still counts.
Yeah. I mean, it's your breakfast.
Right. And now, do I have to slam? If my breakfast period is 2 hours long, can I eat it in 2 hours?
Yeah, you can take,
My normal schedule.
You can't eat anything else until you finish.
Until I finish the.
Yeah.
Got it.
Right.
Yeah, I'm still picking Miracle Whip because it has been defined as mayonnaise by the genie.
By the USDA of
the USD. Dijin.
Yeah, USG. I think my choice is going to be the pea bucket because I'm good at bringing attention to things that affect you that medically that no one else has or cares about because I'm special and I have doctors. And I also think that, I can't smell. I have no smell buds. It affects 1 in 10,000 people approximately. And
so you're already it's already your lifestyle. You're just adding a new thing.
Yeah, I just have to carry this thing. Think of how buff I'll get carrying around my pee bucket.
Yeah, I mean it's a water in a container is actually really hard to handle. It's not an evenly distributed weight source.
Yeah, it's
I mean, I'm going to really
also
work my core.
See, like that's why I'm telling you, if you just committed to the PE lifestyle, the P bucket, you could go to all like the CrossFit gyms and you could just be like, bro, you think this CrossFit shit is cool? That's like baby shit. P bucket is the way to go. Like, look at how shredded my arms are. Like, you just got to carry it around. And like, all those CrossFitter fools would be like all about that because like they're already doing that with CrossFit. Like, nobody gives a fuck, but they have to tell everybody they're doing CrossFit. Just like be an Instagram influencer overnight, hashtag P bucket life.
I mean, you can get some of the survival channels to get in on it too, because they're like, you basically always have a bucket of your own urine in a survival scenario.
Yeah.
I've read online that you can drink that.
You can recycle your urine. You can it's not like distill it into ammonia, wash your clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Perfect. A good one. I like the Would You Rather remix.
Cult of P Bucket.
So Rob, you got some nerd shit for us?
Yeah, I got all sorts of tabletop market watch. Not really. So going on pre-order, I think next week for the 29th. We're like, I don't know, we're in the future when it comes to GW releases because they put out this big made to order Valhalla and Splash release that we kind of went over last week, I think. And so they're bringing back some of the metal minis. I think the heavy weapon squads were like 25 and some of the special characters were like 25. Yarek's coming back for 40, the old classic stuff. So it's if you were following it back in 2016 when they released it, I think that was the first made to order wave. They were considerably less. So I don't know what's going on in the past 4 years, but apparently metal has become a precious metal or something. I don't know. But either way, the Valons look dope. If that's your thing, hey, scoop them up this weekend because they'll be on pre-order. But also apparently able to order from the 29th is all of the new Black Library celebration stuff. So apparently this Black Library thing is going to be at not just GW stores, but also select independent retailers, ? There's no like official list. Some people said they're getting this stuff. So there's some hardback books that you can only get there. First Wall, 13th Legion, Watchers of the Throne, Oath and Conquest, Cal Jericho, a new Cal Jericho novel, Hell's Reach, paperback, Reader's Choice, and Iron Company paperback. They all range from $35 to like $11 for the paperbacks. Those cool pin sets and badge things, the Custody dice, those are all going to be available GW WebOrder exclusive only. The Custody dice are actually respectful $25, down from the $35 that we've seen other dice be. So
that's basically free.
Yeah, it might as well be free. There's a pin badge set for $80. Or excuse me, I am reading the Canadian price. They're $20 for the dice. It's getting even better, guys. It's getting even better. The pin badge set is $65. They actually look good, but I'm not sure how much pins go for, so I hear people pay crazy money for pins, like the Disney pins and stuff. So I don't know. Maybe that's good. Maybe it's in line. Lionel Johnson, that Dark Angels guy that Wyatt's so crazy about, The Lion, is getting his limited edition hardback novel as well on the 29th for $65. And then I think they're bringing back Horus Rising, the first novel in a limited edition hardcover edition format as well. So that's came out in 2006. So 14-year anniversary. I don't know, but they're doing it and it'll be out there. So that's all the stuff that's coming out, except there's one big release. Custodes and Sisters of Silence are getting a 2-pack. So was it Valoran and Alariel? Not the Little Mermaid, something else. Aaliyah, I guess it's Aaliyah, are getting a limited edition box set for $50 US. Talons of the Emperor box set. So might be cool, might have rules. I don't know. We'll find out. A couple weeks. Who knows?
That's interesting timing.
Very interesting timing. So apparently nobody even knows if there'll be 40k rules or 30k rules. Nobody knows. So yet, but when will that be now? Soon. On the independent miniatures front, Creature Caster just put out their Lord of Sacrifice miniature, aka Batman, Bat Demon Man thing, for $59 US. It's in stock, and I think they got a restock of their Pro Acryl paints. think they were waiting on a couple ones, but now those.
I just ordered a bunch, so yeah, they're back.
Yeah, they're back, and then I think they got a restock on what are the red brushes? The
igniters.
Igniters. Okay, yeah, those are back too. So if you've been waiting on those for a while, head over to their site, check them out, scoop them up. And the only other big release I have this week. Oh, wait, I have two. So Urban Warfare, new pre-painted bases from Gamer's Grass came out last week, I think. They actually look pretty good. I don't know if y'all have seen them, but man, they could be used for Historics. They could be used for 40k. Probably not Sigmar, but I feel like they're their most wide open range of bases that's pre-painted and very well detailed.
Those pre-painted bases are dope. Love those games. I mean, I have some right here.
Dude, they save you so much time. I'm like, when I paint bases now, I'm like, I just get so frustrated because I'm like, but you know, you can do them. You can actually save time because you can batch paint them and airbrush them and get them out the door quick. Or I say get them out the door, but you can't get.
I mean, they're also reasonably priced. You'd expect them to be so much more money than they are, but they're not. They're actually reasonable as hell.
Yeah, they're not. They're obviously not for everybody because not everybody's going to be like, oh, I find value in $40 for a pre-painted night base. But then there's people like, I just spent 6 months painting this night. I don't want to paint nothing else no more. Let me throw $40 at this and be done. Like, I get both sides of the coin, and that's what's so cool about this hobby is that there's plenty of other designs and other cool stuff out there. But having a pre-painted base option is pretty neat too. I gotta admit. So those are out, and they have all sorts of different sizes. They start at roughly $20 for I think the 25 mils, and then go on up from there, of course. So check those out. And I just got a press release today from Privateer Press, and it looks like they are coming out.
Hold on, the press release going out of business.
Rude.
I haven't heard anything from those guys in like 2 years.
So they have had a lot of changes going on. A lot of retailers have dropped them because they made it incredibly hard to get their miniatures other than dealing with them, and they really jacked up the margins. So in a lot of cases, folks are just individual customers are just going to them and straight order their stuff. Retailers are not stocking it. They've brought in some big guns to help with the company, but at the end of the day, you know, it is what it is. That's about all I can say. I don't know a whole lot of people there. I know some of the people there, but I wouldn't run the company that way. But at the end of the day, you know what's best for your company, and that's what they're doing. Regardless, they sent out a press release today announcing that they are going to have a new Kickstarter campaign coming out called Nia Mechanica, which basically looks like a sci-fi version of War Machine. So it's going to be, I got some pictures of the figures here. They look like Signar mixed with Tau, which are pretty cool. They're called the Marcher of Worlds. That's the faction that's coming out. And the Iron Star Alliance looks a lot like probably something like Van Sarish or Infinity-ish. Something more out of Infinity than anything really. Possibly Van Sar from Necromunda.
What's the date on this Kickstarter?
It just says it will soon launch a Kickstarter campaign. And that the direct quote is that everything they've learned, where is it right here? Culmination of everything we've learned over 20 years of IP development, game design, and miniatures production and publishing. It'll come out in June 2020 with addition to additional stretch goals and rewards. We'll also include a pledge tier for retailers who would like to carry the game in their stores. That, I think, is going to be a hard sell of the current state of affairs, unfortunately. But maybe they'll figure it out.
Yep. Kickstarter already makes store people not happy anyway. So
it's definitely a slippery slope because you don't want to put out that much money.
I mean, like, if by the fact that it funds itself means that like the product has been distributed already.
Yeah.
To the masses. And so like now you're buying it as a store just to hope that like the 12 people who might be interested in War Machine IP is here in this store right now. We'll see. I mean, you can throw it up there. I mean, I think they're throwing that out there to let like people know they're back. You know, like let's do business.
And
like,
maybe, and you know, I think we wish them the best. We'll definitely cover it. You know, it's curious.
I fucking love them, and I've loved their paints and their models and their cool ass fucking compositions. Like, I'm glad that they're back on the scene, man.
But, you know, absolutely. So hopefully, good things are coming again from Privateer Press. Now we're going to switch to a new segment called Titan Watch. That's right. We're going to talk about Titanic.
I'm hitting the clock right now.
Yep. I'm happy for you.
You only get the segment if you can clock 100 people at Adepticon. That was the rule. 100
people playing Titanicus?
If you can find 100 people at Adepticon. Doesn't have to all be in the same event. You go around with your little clock ticker thing, and you can clock 100 unique people. You get that segment. No questions asked. No timers ever for forever.
Forever. So there was the biggest event in Titanicus history, I believe, at Warhammer World last weekend. There's 62 players. So that we're already 3/4 of a lot of the way there.
62%.
Yes, that. So good things are coming. Also, the new starter's out. You can't get the rules separately, but the starter is out. So if you're, looking to check out the game, I got a lot of messages from folks asking if the game's really that good. And one person, I think, took pity on me and bought the starter set and said, "Hey, I'll play you if you want to come over to this side of town." I said, "Sure, absolutely. I'll teach you how to play, bro. I got enough stuff painted. We'll do it." So I've been finding all sorts of friends. I got invited to a Titanicus Fight Club, which basically is an underground Facebook group up in Cary, Raleigh area.
Oh my God. The fact that it's a
I
fight
feel like
club,
you're using that word a little too liberally.
It's perfect. Check it out, Wyatt. So when you watch Fight Club, I'm going to spoil this for you guys who haven't seen it yet. Also Voldemort and dies. Also Dumbledore dies. Vader's the dude's father. At the end of Fight Club, you realize Tyler Durden is the narrator, is Edward Norton. So the whole time he was beating the shit out of himself whenever he was fighting Tyler at these fight clubs. That is actually all is going to happen Rob is the only one who plays Titanicus.
Yeah.
So
Rob made a secret Facebook group, blocked it from his psyche, then discovered it from a mysterious person that wants to meet up with him off the internet.
Yep.
Oh yeah. That's fine. I've never done that before.
This guy is Robbie's Tyler Durden. He's actually Robbie B. For realsies.
Can we call him Robbie's D?
And you're going to have all these memories of playing Titanicus with this guy, but it's really you fucking playing with yourself.
I mean, there's worse things.
Is Rob's alternate persona Richard Coolface?
Dorian Gray. We're just bringing another.
I definitely want to talk about this new Titan that came out from Forge Realm. So they have the Psi Titan. You might have heard of it.
I feel like we've talked about this fucking Psi Titan for 3 weeks.
Yeah, well, it finally just got out.
We did, but he never used his time to talk about it. He was like, "Nope, not going to talk about it."
We've got the points for it now. So it's a Warlord class Titan. It's 685 points plus weapons, but you have to take the Sinastramanus Tenebrae, which is like the big penis-looking cannon on its arm there, and that. This is a hoot. You guys will like this, what this does. So this is a forward-firing arc weapon. It's 3 dice with strength 10. It shoots a beam. So you just shoot a beam the width of the table, and it hits stuff, right?
Wait, this game still uses templates?
Yeah, it still uses templates.
Didn't we all decide that those were dumb and they're outdated?
But when you have 6 models, who cares?
I mean, they're still dumb and outdated.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Stay with me here. It'd be fine. So you don't roll to hit with this weapon. You just point it at somebody like, pew, and it hits them. And then you roll the 3 dice. And if you kill them with this attack, oh, by the way, this gun, it ignores force shields because it's a psi weapon. And it's like +2 to the damage or something, because if you hit corrupted knights or corrupted titans, it does even better. So you go pew. It hits. You can call shot the first one, which is basically like you get to pick the location on the Titan to say where it's going to hit, So if they're already hurting, you're going to get some serious pluses to your damage and maybe take it out. Who knows? Probably. If you do take it out so you can aim at smaller Titans, take them out. Then it's randomized from there. Because the beam keeps going. Like if you take it out, it just removes one hit as you go. And it's a strength 10 weapon. That's pretty good. So, because you basically roll a dice added to that. Most stuff, it's going to be around like 12 or 13 armor. So you can do the math on that. It's probably going to get through. It's probably going to do some work there. So that's pretty cool to see. And then it also has psychic powers, which is really neat. But in comparison to the Warlord Titan itself, a Warlord Titan is 385 plus points. So you're looking at a difference between these of about 400 points once they're equipped, which is pretty significant in a 2K point game.
Seems undercosted.
It is definitely undercosted. When you literally you're just like, I'm just going to do what I want because I'm a Psychic Titan and I'm just going to order myself to.
How many can you take?
So you can have one per, they call them maniples.
How many maniples can you have?
You can have as many as you can fill, and that's trickier than it sounds.
Gotta have 2 of these guys?
Because there's minimums.
So is two reasonable?
It might be doable if you just take it as a allied detachment sort of thing. You don't have to like put it in with another one, but that's 700 points. Like, and then you have 2, that's 700, and now you're talking like Warhounds are 3-ish. Like, I don't know what you could feel.
Seems like it fits. Got it. I'm taking triple dick cannon, guys.
I don't think you can do that.
We'll see.
You might be able to. I'd have to look at it.
We'll see.
But either way,
I'm only playing Titanicus if I can have 3 dick cannons. With jizz attack.
If you want to Tyler Durden and play yourself, would be go right ahead.
No, well, that's what we've defined. That is the only way you can get games of this.
I want you to know that this Saturday coming up is Titanicus Day. It's a worldwide celebration at all GW stores. At least one store that I'm going to, where somebody that pities me is gonna play me in. I'm going to teach him how to play Titanicus.
So you're gonna make a paid Titanicus appearance. Yeah, this game's not dying. Got it.
I wouldn't cheapen it like that.
Man,
they have to pay you to show up to talk about Titanicus.
No, I don't think I'm getting paid. I just think I'm just gonna go teach him how to play.
Next thing we know, Robbie B is gonna be like, "Hey, have you guys heard about this game called 30k? It takes place in the Horus Heresy. It's really cool. Tons of people are playing it. Thriving community, guys."
Heresy's big.
Yeah, see, it's already begun.
As somebody that was falsely accused of saying heresy was dead, I will not say heresy is dead.
Heresy never dies.
It's pretty dead.
It's always with us.
I think games ebb and flow. They definitely ebb and flow.
40k is the only game.
So Titanicus has been on a real ebb since it came out. Just waiting for that flow to start.
That's right, Zenwo. Rob, why don't you just make us a dope? Go back to the Beats Lab for turn on the battle report cameras one last time and just do a solid how to play video. I
think I did. I think it's on the channel. It's on my channel.
I said solid.
Yeah, it's solid.
Is it?
Yeah, I actually learned it. And that's what that was actually really.
Is that when you learned how to play it, or like would you or would you not be capable of making a better one now that was way more informative?
I don't know. I don't think anything really has changed as far as the mechanics of it. I was actually pretty disappointed with some of the videos that were out there. That it was clear that people just got the stuff and just kind of skimmed over it and had no idea what they were even talking about. I was very disappointed. I was like, guys,
I bet if you laid out a really cool table and you had some multiple cameras and you did some very creative shots of the game with maybe a little bit of post editing with like some effects, sound effects, things like that, I bet you could really hype up the Titanicus experience. But if you're just like watching people like push them around on a table and roll dice, like
give me some dramatic music and shit. Let's go hire
like,
somebody to do the voiceover.
I need some like Swiss angles of the Night Titans from like the ground level as they stride across the battlefield, blaring their war horns. Like I'm pretty sure since like every movie in Hollywood has that sound effect from
War of the Worlds.
Yeah, like there's a billion versions of that. You can probably find it on freeware. You just need to have that like every 2 or 3 minutes. Like engine kill, wah, like, you know, like have some cool background music, maybe some like pew pew lasers. Yeah, dude, you could do it.
I mean, I could, but let's be real, guys. Like, I have to have a hobby for myself.
That doesn't sound very Titanicus of you, Rob.
Look, I can't do it all, man. Like, I'm not the publisher of this game. If GW wants Titanicus that bad, they can put it out. I mean, and do some stuff and things, and I'll just be like, okay, cool. That's adorable. I'll just play over here with my Titans. It does sound awesome.
And your basement.
I'm not the guy for it.
All right. Well, look, your passion does inspire me
to poop.
Keep at it. I mean, I don't need you to poop. All I need is coffee. 2 cups of coffee, 11:35 a.m. on the dot.
Well, that's all I got for Titan Watch today. But
It's the last Titan Watch until we get 100 people.
I don't know. I'll probably have something to talk about next week. I'm sure. We'll see.
You owe me time now.
Let's define it.
I refunded you like 30 seconds because I got interested in the dick cannons.
Y'all can I can tell you about my experience with internet strangers on the next week. It'll be great.
Oh,
I've never met anybody from stream in person, and not knowing if they're just getting kidnapped, man. Oh, that's how it happens.
Yeah, I've been kidnapped before. I know what it's like.
You can't be on a podcast if you're not under constant threat of getting kidnapped.
Yeah.
Like by a white panel band that says Titans inside.
Yep. Gluten-free Titans.
Gluten-free Titans.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there we go.
We're going to get ready to transition into some rules. Good talk. All joking aside, that sounds really exciting, Rob. And I am a little sad you're not going to make another follow-up video. I'd watch it.
No, you couldn't.
And let's talk about these new orc rules, Wyatt.
All right. So Makari, the coolest grot around, apparently, he's back. We have some rules. He can move a blistering 5 inches. He's got the crack shot weapon skill and ballistic skill of 4 up. He is a mighty strength 3, a brutal toughness 3, has got 4 hull wounds, 2 attacks, with a whopping 6 leadership and a 6 up save.
What happened to this 2 up, 4 up shit I heard about?
Well, he is suspiciously lucky, so he has a 2 up invulnerable save.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's
There's
gangster.
nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
Oh, he's gangster.
And you can use his leadership if you are within 12 inches of if Goff Gretchen can use his leadership if they're within 12 inches of him.
Big dude, that's a big 6.
Yeah, that's what my lady says too.
Just softballed it in.
Thanks, man.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a free penis joke. I appreciate you.
I mean,
any chance to talk about penis, I'm with it. I mean, he sounds fun and thematic. If he's super cheap, literally, I'll take him all day, every day.
I think he'll just be, you get Gaz and Makari, and hopefully he can run off and do his own thing.
Mm.
Maybe not.
That's probably what it'd be.
The big news, I think.
I want there to be a rule where if you sit on him with Gazgul, you get a CP.
It's just like ammo run, CP ammo run. No, I think the big news for him is that base that Gaz is on looks to be bigger than 60 millimeters round. Now, I'm not an angleologist, and I didn't know what to make of Shadow Sun, but from the angle they present, it does look a lot bigger than 60 millimeters.
Does he also do mortal wounds with his knife? Chat seems to believe that's the case.
Yeah, if he gets a 6 to wound, he does like mortal D3 mortals or something.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a fucking gangster.
Something.
Dog. I need to get like a website devoted to kills, super grat kills to track.
Super grot tally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, he goes in there, he can easily kill a couple Space Marines.
At least.
I mean, 2 up and vulnerable. He's fucking gangster. I love him. I'm with it. All right, Bay Area Open, Adepticon, WarGamesCon. We got lots of events coming up for the 2020 season. Obviously, this matters because the new missions. We're going to talk about them here in a few minutes. We've got Adepticon right around the corner. That's the biggest, miniature trade show, to my knowledge, in existence still.
In the universe.
Yeah, in the history of mankind in this universe and the next, And Long War Doubles, it's the biggest one. It's on Friday. We have a 10 to 10 slot, huge rounds, lots of downtime. We are putting out a call for volunteer judges. We have a painting rubric and a theme rubric that is easy to fill out. You can go through, give us a hand, come by, say hi. We'll give you some Fago.
Courtesy of John Patrick.
John Patrick always brings the Fago.
Please.
Please take as much as you want. You can bring it home with you. And, we're just and anyone also, we mentioned this earlier, if you're coming by, you don't have a partner or you're on the wait list, just come by. Like, it's never been an issue to get people in. I think we have slightly less space than normal, but it almost always has worked out. And even then, if it's just you and you've got a full 2,000 point spread, we might draft you into being a ringer for us. So there's lots to do, lots to kick in. It's an all day thing. People are going to be having fun. Come by. Whether you want to help or not, take the Fago.
Ooh, I want some orange Fago.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they got that one that's exactly like Sierra Mist.
Yeah, that one's good too. And the grape.
Yeah. Definitely better than I thought it'd be. So that's Adepticon. We've also got Bay Area Open and WarGamesCon. Long War Doubles at Bay Area Open for sure. They're selling tickets for WarGamesCon as well. So you have a couple opportunities to make it to Long War Doubles events this year. Not every single one of these events is going to have the entire crew at it. That's literally impossible. But some percentage of our crew should be at all of them in some capacity. So come by. Oh, yeah. Same thing applies. Looking for help with judging. Looking for help with ringing.
Yep. The cool thing about WarGamesCon is that the event is on a Friday. So we get a full day, very chillax, no timetables. We can have some nice breaks in between. Don't have to wake up super early. So if you want to come in before, come into the nice GT, Long War Doubles will be there.
Mm-hmm. Should be legit.
Always a blast.
It's a nice venue too in Austin.
Yeah, the return of WarGamesCon. I mean, like that was one of the sickest OG events back in the day. The timing, the location, the atmosphere. So I'm really hype on this return. I'm trying to make travel plans to go, regardless of how the doubles event fills up or not. Mm-hmm. So I'd love to come back out there one last time because that's it after that. I've started playing that Pokemon game, so
oh, that's true, yeah.
That's life now. So. And before we move on to meats and potatoes, we do have an announcement to make. Wyatt Turk turning 30 years old on Monday.
Oh shit, yeah. I'm gonna be old as fuck, y'all.
What's it like to be old?
He's gonna be the second oldest guy in the podcast.
Yep.
I'm kidding. He's still the youngest.
most likely to get carded. This guy.
Yeah. So, if you see him on social medias on Monday, say what's up. And you will be traveling. You'll be out here in my area, right?
Yeah. So Friday, we're going to be traveling out to LA area. We're going to be doing a class out at War Chief Games. Shout out to War cool. Chief. And then Sunday, I get to go to Disneyland. Never been to Disneyland. I'm pretty excited for it. Got to recapture that childhood now that I'm going to be 30 years old to get to start early. And then we'll be kicking around the LA area until we come back home.
So if you're out here, you're all blanket invited.
Absolutely.
At the very least, swing by War Chief, sign up for that painting class.
Do you have to get on a plane at any point?
Yes.
Like for hours, yes.
Maybe that's why Rob is still so young. He refuses to grow up and get on airplanes. He's like the Peter Pan of travel.
I've seen him on airplanes twice. They were both very upsetting situations. They do not want to be around him again for. You ever see like a grown
bathtub?
You ever see like a grown ass man act exactly like a cat in a bathtub?
That's an accurate. Yeah, that's an accurate depiction.
Oh man. All right, so let's do it. We're going to talk about the new ITC missions. Now, we did cover this on the After Hours in vast detail. We went pretty hard. We also did it earlier today on the tactics discussion. And now we're going to talk about it, why it has all the notes. We're going to break it down. He's going to go over a section. We're going to comment as quickly as we can and then move to the next section. And I'm going to let Wyatt take him here.
All right, so we've got the new ITC Champions Packet. So working drafts until the 28th of February. There have already been some preliminary changes. So we're going over what the packet says right now. This is all subject to change, but so far it's looking pretty good. A lot of positive feedback. The first major change is going to be in the pregame. So both players are going to do all of their pregame stuff, relics, warlord traits, pregame stratagems, and then talk to each other about those. Then after all that is done, they're going to roll off. This roll off decides the attacker and the defender. The attacker will deploy first and go first. There is no seize the initiative roll. And the defender will roll for the map type. And the defender gets one reroll on the map type. So if you get the one that you absolutely did not want, you can get one reroll to see if you can get a better deployment zone or deployment type. Then you choose your deployment zone, and the attacker gets the other deployment zone and then deploys. And you place down your objectives, all that stuff. So after that, you choose your secondaries. And this is actually really cool because when you get to know if you're going first or second, and you know what your deployment zone is, and you know where all the objectives are, choosing your secondaries gets to be a little bit easier, and you have a little bit more wiggle room there to decide what you want to do. You're not boxed into a specific secondary choice. After both players pick secondaries, then you start deploying.
All right. So let's talk about it for a second. A couple seemingly minor changes and things we should have expected, but a lot of really far-reaching changes. They've been doing the attacker defender mission, 2 missions out of 6 for some time now, kind of as a beta, working their way up to this. Personally, my favorite missions are the I know I'm going to go first ahead of time, therefore, or second, and therefore I get to counter deploy his entire army. It bypasses the alternate in deployment. He drops his whole shit down to attack you because he's basically at a disadvantage by revealing his cards because he gets that turn 1 alpha. You get to react. So that's kind of the balance there. I always find those missions to be the best because I get to counter what that guy's going to do. The only times I hate it is when I think I'm going first and then I get seized on. They've removed that nitpick. So after all this beta testing, they're just saying, this is how we're going to fucking play the game. And so this does allow seemingly a more balanced mission structure, a more balanced list design where you don't necessarily need to worry about like, my turn 1 alpha. Like there's multiple ways to go second safely with this like deployment map reroll, always being able to counter, knowing that every mission is like this, not just 2 out of 6. I think this could actually shape list design in a totally new way.
Oh, I don't see how it won't.
Yeah, it definitely will.
I mean, infiltrators, for instance, like we talked about, but just come to mind automatically, like are gonna.
That's good to bring that up because that is the one hole in this document right now, which I strongly suspect that they are going to address really fast. Is that in alternating deployment, when you deploy a scout unit, which can deploy anywhere in the battlefield outside of 9 inches of the opponent's deployment zone, like you can kind of cock block something, and then they get to deploy one of their units too. So like there's a cock block alternated sequence there, right? in this mission where you just get to dump all yours, they can really dominate the map when there's no alternating. So a lot of people have already talked about it. They've already brought up Raven Guard, already brought up statistics. I suspect that they are going to create a deployment scout phase.
Yeah, like if you want to deploy units that are allowed to deploy outside of your deployment zone, then you hold those until both players have deployed their armies. That's like the biggest suggestion that I've seen bandied about on the forums and things like that is, like the attacker deploys, the defender deploys, and if one person has infiltrators, you put those out there. If both, then you alternate units of infiltrators.
As Robbie B called it, is the relish phase, which will be the infiltrating phase.
Yeah, because nobody likes it when the game state is in a place where whoever goes first is like going to win based on overwhelming advantage. And if somebody goes first and they have a bunch of infiltrating units, or they have stuff that happens before the start of the game, like the Raven Guard, these wombo combos, like that's a really feel-badsy place to be. And anything that eliminates those types of rules that cause that is good for the game.
Yeah, it's not like there's this like overwhelming like Raven Guard presence that's gonna like just sweep the nation by storm. It just exists, and this is a feel-badsy. And in the sake of like chasing a perfect set of mission rules, I suspect that will get changed.
Mm-hmm.
In the relish phase, as Rob put it.
The relish, you got to put that on last. So the next big change comes from the tabling and concession scoring. This is kind of a big deal because it is a big change from the way that it used to be. If a player is tabled before the end of the game, which is 6 battle rounds, so anytime before the end of the 6th battle round, if somebody is tabled, meaning they have no eligible units on the table, that is also factoring in boots on the ground, stuff like that, or a player concedes, then you can only score points for the rest of the game that you can physically score, because the conceding player counts as all of remaining models as immediately dying and disappearing from the table. The winning player can only score hold more, and a bonus point if their models can actually move and get that bonus point in any remaining turns, with secondaries being maxed as per usual.
Rob, that was news to you, right?
I mean,
like you thought it was already like that.
I kind of did. Like, I was like, that just seems reasonable. Like, if you can't get over there, you can't get that objective. Like, I swear I've seen that like played out on tables.
Everyone plays their own game of 40k. Don't forget that, guys. Every game there's never been a perfect game of 40k.
No,
and every game of 40k is different, and the players oftentimes kind of establish little miniature precedences within the game that fundamentally alter the game that they're playing to be something totally encapsulated and self-contained. Like, that is one of the beautiful things about the game, right? Every game is different. And that is, a lot of games are exactly as it seems that the rules are now, but many games are not. One of the things I brought up earlier was people who are like notoriously winning all the time, who are just like the fucking ballers of this game, who have like maybe a reputation for just being the best, do get a lot of concessions. They get their opponents to concede a lot. And there is some degree of, it's just that person just realized they couldn't win the game. And then after turn 2, they really realized it and they just wanted to get upstairs and have some drinks. There might be a little politicking, little campaigning there for that. And in the current rule set, 4 points per turn plus potentially, on all your bonuses is a different score. That's how you see a lot of 40s.
Mm-hmm.
This change is designed to streamline that top 8, those big numbers, right? So this potentially cuts in half your total earnings when it comes to straight up concessions, which also has a big factor in the rankings, because the rankings are a big part of the game right now. It's like you're winning. The rankings are like the points you earned in your wins plus some mythical calculator, right? If you're not getting 640s anymore, that definitely changes the game just a little bit. And maybe the bar that you need to attain maybe some of the people who have been clear leaders in the past, that distance starts to close with them. So I believe this is all in the sake of more accurate scoring for a more professional competitive scene. And it's a rule. It's on paper now,
No, I mean it totally makes sense. I'm behind it. Once you explained it, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, why weren't we doing that already?
Some changes to the secondary missions. They are now in 3 categories. You have old school, seek and destroy, and maneuver secondaries. And when a player chooses secondaries, you must choose at least one maneuver secondary. And then you can choose an additional 2 from seek and destroy or maneuver, or the single in old school. And they have also added in literature where...
Is that how it's worded? Because you keep saying it that way. Isn't it just simply you need a maneuver, a seek and destroy, and your third one can be one of any of the remainders?
Well, it's 2 in 1.
I was just curious about because this is the second time you've worded it that way. And I was like, is it worded that way?
I think it is.
That's interesting. All right.
I'm not sure though. I don't have it in front of me.
No, so I mean, I feel like that's the intent. There's like they want you to be kind of balanced. They want you to have a killy one,
yes,
a movie one, and then for your third one, it's like a swing. You could take an additional killy one, an additional movie one, or you could always take old school.
Yes,
yeah, it's just interesting wording that I can.
Yeah, maybe you're just saying it different.
No, we are definitely saying it different. But I'm like, you've definitely
same intent.
You've definitely quoted the document that way, and I'm like, it's like.
It's just the way I think of it in my head. It's like I have to have a maneuver, and then I get 2 more choices, and it can either be 2 more maneuvers, 2 more seek and destroy.
You can't have 3 maneuvers though. I did not read it that way. Is that how it is interpreted? I thought you couldn't have any 3 of the one. This is brand new. You've only
yeah. So it says 1 must be seek and destroy. 1 must be for maneuvers. The third mission can either be old school or either category.
All right. So just clearing that up. You actually beta tested these missions already, right?
Yes.
So that's actually pretty cool. Once we get into the secondaries, you'll be able to give us some insight on how that operated for you, which is awesome. So they have taken all these secondaries, put them into categories, given us a set of rules, which is very cool that it's like column based and it's like have to, optional. Mm-hmm. I love it. It's very clean and it promotes more balanced play.
Well, yeah, because you have to go out and you have to do stuff too. And plus, we haven't got to, never mind. I'll let the cat out of the bag.
I love how it's got to be a cat colloquialism. You can't just be like, I don't want to spoil it.
Course.
Yeah. I want to spoil the cat out of the bag.
Yeah. I mean, can't let the mole out of the hole. I got you. One of the major things before we get into these is that none of the secondaries can stack. So there's no need for like asterisks next to anything. Is that none of the secondaries stack unless you pick old school. Old school is the only one where you can score like multiple secondary points from doing a single thing.
Which is why I think it's in its own category, just to make everything easier to understand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So old school is, other than being in its own category, wording is unchanged. They all work the exact same way. Getting into the seek and destroy, we have headhunter. That is unchanged. Then one of the new ones is born for greatness. Pick one of your single character units. This unit gains 1 point for accomplishing each of the following objectives, up to a total of 4 points. Each objective can only be achieved once per game. Destroy an enemy unit that does not have the character keyword. Destroy an enemy unit that has the character keyword. Deny an enemy psychic power. Hold an objective outside of your deployment zone. Heroically intervene into an enemy unit. And begin and end a battle round wholly within your opponent's deployment zone.
So cool. Obviously, so much comes to mind there, but you actually played that on Robbie G over the weekend, right?
I did. I put old boy back on the table for old time's sake, and in 2 of my 3 games, I took it in all 3 games just because I wanted to see if I could make it work. Seemed interesting, And in 2 of the 3 games, I was able to make it work. And with characters that cannot be targeted except with sniper weapons, things of that nature, and can, do people dirty like Robbie G does, you can have a lot of fun with this. It's a really, really cool secondary.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier a couple of times today. Like right out the gate, Demon Prince is one of the best units for this task because he is himself a psyker and innately can deny psychic powers. That's one of the things. He obviously can shred his way through regular ass units of dudes, right? And moves fast as fuck so he can get the kill and not character. We did also talk about one of the most popular builds, TJ Lanigan could attest to this and many other, 40k legends, but the American Express card of Chaos, Aramon 2,000 Sun Demon Princes, especially with the new Cult of Magic rules. You can have a Demon Prince who just has, 2 sniper mortal wound powers, devastating sorcery for an additional mortal. That dude just legit just snipes a character out pretty easily, pretty reliably. So he's like, I'm going to move up to a center objective out of my deployment zone and I'm going to snipe a dude. Boom. Right. I just picked up 2 right there. That's just amazing. Well, how cool is it that but one of the things I did want to address is that we've seen this come up a few times. People are like, what about Magnus? What about Morty? It might be OP for Magnus. He might be able to do all 4 in turn 1. You think they're going to scale this back to, certain category of character? No. The balance is there. Because if you put this set of rules on Magnus Mortarion and you go second and they kill Magnus on turn 1.
That said, if you have a Magnus Morty or just one or the other and you are going second, that before picking secondaries.
Mm-hmm.
So unless there is a huge fuck off piece of terrain that you can actually hide one of those 2 dudes behind, completely blocking line of sight.
Good callback to the order of operations.
Yes. Straight up, don't pick this unless you're going first. In which case, if you do go first, yes, go ham because you can probably do this in 1 turn. Yeah,
it's good. It's best suited for fast moving, hidden characters. But as mentioned earlier, a Relic Leviathan and Iron Hands army is a character and can deny the witch on a 4-up. There's some pretty interesting combinations here.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. I'm sure that a lot of people get some use out of it. We had a guy at our RTT playing Magnus, and I was like, I wonder if he's going to try that out. And he didn't. But that was because he never went first. So I would be interested to see what Magnus can do if you're like, oh, I'm going first. I'm going to take Born for Greatness on Magnus and see what I can get accomplished here. So after that, we have Marked for Death. It is changed. Choose 4 of your opponent's units, each of which is worth a points value, including war gear, of 100 or more points. Earn 1 point for each of these units destroyed. In order to score this point against a unit that splits into multiple units during the course of play, you must destroy each individual component unit. If a unit joins with another unit during the course of play, to earn this point, you must destroy the entire conjoined unit.
Fair. Love the change there.
Yep. A lot of stuff that could not be marked before now can. And this is probably one of those things that is a kickback of lots and lots of 2-wound models like intercessors being spammed on the table.
There's a lot.
Yep. And so one of the really popular deals is 5 intercessors with a Thunderhammer in the squad, and that is over 100 points. So marking for death, that stuff is going to be pretty clutch. Gangbusters is slightly different. For every 6 wounds inflicted on a non-troop battlefield multi-model unit composed entirely of models with 3 or more wounds, score 1 point. Units with Swarm do not count towards the mission. Once any wounds from a unit are counted towards your Gangbuster secondary, that unit may not score points for another Seek and Destroy secondary objective.
Like the caveat there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just helping people realize that none of this stuff stacks. And having it not be troop choices is a pretty big deal for a handful of factions that have been given this up a lot. or just straight up not bringing troop choices they otherwise could because it auto gives up gangbusters if you kill like 4 of them.
Fact.
Big Game Hunter is pretty big change. What they did is they rolled Titan Slayer into Big Game Hunter. Earned 1 point for every 10 cumulative wounds dealt to enemy units containing the monster, Titanic, or vehicle keyword.
That is actually really cool. So like normally it's like you had to kill the thing, had to be 8 or more wounds, right? Now they're saying it's cumulative across the board, and you can bank those. Like it's Titan Slayer, and so it's funny because in some situations for Titan Slayer, it's a little safer. If you play like a Knight Army, right? Like now it's not. It used to be what, every 8 wounds. Now it's every 10.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool. That's a little bit of a blade of armor for some Titan people. But in other situations, now you don't have to, if you're fighting up against somebody like with 3 Knights and 3 Disco Lords, you don't have to like pick both Big Game Hunter and Titan Slayer. You just are like, Big Game Hunter, son.
Mm-hmm.
Easily maxed. So that's really cool, really streamlined. I love that one.
Butcher's Bill, unchanged. The Reaper is different. For every 20 wounds of infantry models destroyed, earn 1 point. You count each wound when the infantry model is destroyed. In the instance of models coming back into play after being destroyed during the course of a game, you may count them each time they are destroyed. Once a model is removed from a unit, if you choose to count it towards your Reaper secondary objective, that unit may not score points for another seek and destroy secondary objective.
Dude, that's a game changer. For like 10 intercessors is is a Reaper point.
Yep.
That's a absolute fucking game changer.
Oh yeah. Then we get into the maneuver secondaries. Recon, its primary is unchanged, but it has a second part now. Starting in turn 2, if you have 2 units in every table quarter, you earn 2 points per turn.
Bonus.
There's a few of them that are like that. So you're going to see they're going to reward you for being a little bit more clever with your placement. So that's Recon's obviously one of the most popular secondaries. And now this new cool buff. That's really neat.
Yep. Behind enemy lines has changed. They excluded anything with the flyer battlefield roll. Cannot score behind enemy lines. Get 1 point if at the end of your turn a unit is entirely within your opponent's deployment zone. And then they also get a little bonus. Starting in turn 2 and on, if you have 3 or more non-flyer battlefield roll units entirely in your opponent's deployment zone at the end of your turn, you earn 2 points.
That's another subtle change because it used to be at the beginning of your turn. Like if you start a turn. So that means you can start it, score it, and potentially replace it and then move off and do something else with that unit.
Yes.
It's saying it's, so that's a subtle change in the wording that does have an implication. So that's pretty neat. I like these like stacked rewards.
Ground control unchanged. King of the Hill has a small change. At the end of their turn, the player who chose this secondary scores 1 point if they have 2 non-character multi-model units or units with a Titanic keyword wholly within 9 inches of the center of the table. Starting turn 2 and on, if you have 4 or more qualifying units wholly within 9 inches of the center of the table, earn 2 points.
That's dope. And as stated earlier today, it seems like there's a few things that make Knights a little stronger.
Oh, yeah. Engineers, pretty much unchanged, but it does get a little bonus. So if you have an engineer unit in your deployment zone on an objective and an engineer unit outside of your deployment zone on a unit, you get 2 points after turn 2.
I like that.
We have...
It's dope because it gives you like that ability to play it safe, but then like seize on a moment of opportunity.
Exactly. Sappers is a new secondary. Sappers lead the way. Select 2 non-character, non-fortification, non-flyer battlefield role units from your army to be sappers, so long as a sapper unit ends its movement within 3 inches of an objective outside of the controlling player's deployment zone. The sapper unit may render the objective unscorable if that unit did not make any attacks or manifest any psychic powers during your turn. An objective that is rendered unscorable will not generate any mission points for primary or secondary objectives for the sapper unit's opponent, so long as it remains in this state. Note, a sapper may render an objective unscorable even if they do not control the objective. Once rendered unscorable, an objective remains in this state until the sapper moves more than 3 inches away from it, is destroyed, or makes any attacks or manifests any psychic powers. For each objective rendered unscorable on 1 point at the end of your turn. Starting on turn 2, you can earn up to a maximum of 2 points per turn for sapping 2 or more objectives. Units chosen to be sappers may never benefit from a rule that keeps them from being the target of attacks, Cloud of Flies, for example. They can benefit from terrain blocking line of sight to them.
I think that they're going to caveat this with a sapper unit can only sabotage one objective at a time.
Yeah, that could get silly.
Because I keep reading it, and there's nothing that fully states that I can't spread out a unit, get within 3 or 2, and turn 2 off with one unit. So I'm wondering what the intent there is, if they're going to clean that up or not. But there's a lot of play in this one. It's very chess matchy.
Yeah, I really like it. It's like an aggressive form of engineers.
No doubt.
And lastly, we have another new secondary, the Postman. Select a single model from your army that does not have the vehicle, monster, or Titanic keywords to be the Postman. This model can be in a unit. This model may choose to gather intel on an objective within 3 inches that you control at the end of your turn. You may only gather intel from each objective once per game. Earn 1 point per objective you gather intel from. If at the end of the game you have gathered intel from every objective on the table, you automatically score 4 points.
So even in the missions where there's only 3 objectives.
Yes. Nailed it.
And I love this one says you have to control it.
Right.
This is not like the Sapper one where control is not necessary. So you actually have to go and clear an objective and then take the intel.
Mm-hmm.
So that's I also love Postman and the Born for Greatness. These are both new ones, and I think they fit right into some cool new ideas I've been having about anyone who's about to abuse characters. Maybe these new Tau armies. Yo, there's some good ass secondaries for you. Superman in around the table with your little Postman, Iron Man, Cold Star. Easily staying protected and blasting a tank. Sniping some shit out. Like there's a lot of cool new stuff. It's really gonna factor into how you build a list. Also, a lot of armies that are notoriously doing well are going to be giving up points they're not used to giving up, like Reaper and Mark for Death. So it's a lot of new stuff here to unpack.
Yeah, this new pack is really exciting. We did play it at our monthly RTT on Saturday. Got a chance to work in the new pregame order of operations, which was very interesting. It lends a new layer of tactics to the game where I can look at a table and be like, ooh, okay, so how does this terrain look for my army if I go first? How does this terrain look if I go second? Like, do I feel safe going second on this table? Because there is advantages and disadvantages to going first or second. So being able to have that be sort of like you find that out early in the pregame setup, and then you start working your game plan off of that. So being able to know, like, I'm going second, this is my deployment zone, and then be able to choose secondaries, I think is a really big deal.
These are a big deal. I have one quick question on the wording for Sapper. What are the units that are available to be Sappers again, the keywords? Or who are not? Who's disallowed?
So non-characters, non-fortification, non-flyer.
So you can't be
no other. There's no other keywords.
Can't be a flyer. Can't be okay. I was just curious about that one too, because Sapper is a strong one too. Yeah.
Yeah. This is really strong because kind of hidden in that text there is that you can still score the objective for hold more, but your opponent cannot.
Oh, so you can still actually primary score Sapped objectives?
Yes.
That's fucking pretty awesome. Yeah, Sapper with King of the Hills are pretty. There's a lot of new combos because we lived in the era of recon engineers, and then pick one offensive. Like that has been a pretty classic mix up for like a year.
Oh yeah, I can't remember the last time I didn't play engineers.
Right. And obviously there was other tricks depending on matchups and stuff, but like it's a pretty, you get into a rhythm where like your army does the same two things in 99% of fights. And maybe even the third thing you do is pretty common, right? Mm-hmm. This right here is cool because even if we settle into a familiarity like that again, at least it's a new familiarity that makes you play a little bit differently for a while. You know, like a lot of times I play lists that have a lot of like buffs and like synergies, but I have a lot of dudes whose like job it is just like, they don't do anything but like hide behind a wall. Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And now I have like this new way of looking at the game. Like for example, recon with the double scoring potential. That's kind of interesting. That makes me a little bit more proactive with that. With Postman, like I got like Zangor Shaman in my new list that are just like their whole job is to like get a smite range. I've also got some Flux Masters. Well, suddenly now my Flux Masters have this new thing they can do where like one of them is flying around and just tagging objectives in the backfield safely for a couple turns, you know, postmaning it up. You know, maybe I have this like whole new way of interacting with a Demon Prince now because of Born for Greatness. Like even if I do these like two of those things every game, it makes me, I'm playing it differently than I was last week.
Yeah. That's what's neat about changing up the ITC regardless.
Yeah. Very excited about this. Yeah, I can't wait to try all these silly combos out with all the new lists. Now I got to scheme even more. Thank you so much, ITC.
I'm not scheming until they're final though. That's my take on it because I don't want to learn something and then unlearn it.
You're right. You're right. I don't know how much room I've left. Why
you guys would when you can just like play Titanicus until then. I mean, crazies.
That's accurate. I am concerned for us, Rob, though, because we've been playing this game so long. It's like
it's getting confusing.
How much hard drive space do we have left for like essentially like imagine like you went to college and learned Latin, right? Mm-hmm. And you've learned it well. That's in your brain still, man. Like I've done that with 40k like 7 times. Just straight Latin equivalent fucking amount of time and effort that went to memorizing a set of fucking text. You know?
I think you just got to flush all your cat pictures from your brain. That's all you got.
Delete the old history.
Yep. Delete the cache.
Oh man. Well, thank you for delivering that concise report on the ITC mission update, Wyatt.
Oh, you're welcome.
And if for anyone who's at home listening, Wyatt is currently cuddling his cat Blackjack.
He's being a needy boy. He's giving me hugs.
They're full cuddling, and I'm sure at any moment Rob is going to grab Sarah.
There's a cat in my lap.
Oh, never mind. He's like, there's been a cat in my lap for like 45 minutes, Doug.
Yeah, where have you been?
Over here, lonely with no cats.
Oh.
I mean, you just get a cat, dude. It's pretty easy.
You have a dog. It's pretty much the same size.
It is. She is essentially a cat, yes.
I feel like you would be so much happier with like a really fat, chill cat just hanging out with you.
Chonk? You need a chonk.
Chunky boy.
I mean, I don't disagree with you.
She's got too much attitude. She'll like bite you and shit.
Oh yeah.
You just need like a chunky orange cat to hang out with you.
That dog will bite the fuck out of you. Like when people are like, "Oh, does she bite?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Oh no, wait, perfect. You need a cat with black and white spots, and you can call him Juggalo because he'll have like
Juggalo,
white and black,
like a calico is black and white with a perfect.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what you need.
Just call him like Thug Nuts or something.
Just call him Hatchet Man.
Hatchet Man. Oh, Hatchet Man.
Murder cat.
Somebody, all right. I want to be appraised of all emails sent to Kenny about, hey, here's this cat you can call Hatchet Man. We need to find Hatchet Man for Kenny.
Oh, okay, Rob. We're done.
I guess we can be. I would like to add that Annie stepped in poop today, so I had to clean her litter paw. Oh, now she's getting sensitive about it. She's like, "No, that wasn't me."
Her deuce.
Nope, that wasn't me.
Wow, she's really upset at you.
She was.
You
I had to
just-
get it.
God, you're such an embarrassing parent, Rob.
You just straight called her out in front of everyone.
Yeah, she was very upset. I used a wet one. You know, you had to get in there. I even warmed it up in my hands. So
Had
it
to
would
get
be-
between the toes,
the bean. They call those beans.
the toe beans.
Toe beans. Yep.
Well, I don't have that problem with my dog. She just eats the poop.
And vomits it up and then eats it again.
Oh yeah, if I let her, which I do.
Messes are good.
You don't want to clean that up.
No, it's so easy. Like when I'm in the kitchen doing anything and like I spill something on the counter and I'm just like knock it to the floor. She's already there eating it. Save me from mopping the floor today.
Yeah. Why are you fighting it? All right. Well, that is it for this one. Make sure you head on over to thelongwar.net and become a veteran of the Long War today.